So let's talk about Streaming I/O API. But before we start, we need to clarify what a buffer or a page is in PostgreSQL. Buffer or a page is a fundamental unit of data. So this is basically pieces each table is made of. When performing operations like a sequential scan, PostgreSQL reads many buffers at once. PostgreSQL 17 introduces a new internal API for streaming reads, allowing the database to read multiple blocks at a time, rather than one at a time. This is a key step towards asynchronous I/O, or so-called AIO. The new API also allows for more systematic use of calls like POSIX-F advanced will need for random page access, which helps the operating system load needed pages ahead of a time, basically predicting what your query is going to need in future. Larger or so-called factored IOs can replace many smaller IO calls, reducing the overall overhead for the system. So why is this important? Even without full asynchronous, I/O streaming reads can improve performance due to reduced overhead and more efficient interaction with the operating system. And the group of developers which have been introducing asynchronous I/O all over the place in PostgreSQL started with gradual changes, thus letting us see how the system improves over time with new versions when we replace synchronous I/O with asynchronous one in specific calls. The next benefit is about sequential scans, which now can perform larger reads. Instead of reading data by the size of the buffer, or 8 kilobytes by default, we can talk about at least 16 times larger chunks of data. Analyze operations are faster due to smarter prefetching. Yes, if you read more data at once, you can calculate what data is stored in the table and come up with its statistics faster. So this sounds reasonable. This API refactoring is also a crucial step for implementing full asynchronous I/O in future versions of PostgreSQL. And the setting which was added, which is called the I/O combine limit, can be used to adjust the size of I/O calls, which can be beneficial for different file systems. So if you run your PostgreSQL database on something exotic, now you can adjust the way it reads from the underlying file system with newer setting.